Okay, let's move on to Tennessee. Their number is set at 7.5 wins for this year. 7-6 a year ago. 4-4 in conference. Number 13 in the country. Kind of shockingly high, based on according to F plus. Number 5 on offense. Number 55 on defense. Their projection per SP plus this year is even higher. They're projected to be the number 9 team in the country. Number 4 on offense. Number 43 on defense. So that kind of shows you. I mean, that's kind of what the Tennessee team is. Josh Heupel entering his second season, of course. Hendon Hooker a year ago was incredible. Especially, his numbers were ridiculous. Their top running back, Jabari Small, is back. Cedric Tillman is one of the best receivers in the conference. They returned 4 offensive line starters. The defense, of course, on the other hand, their defense was not good last year, and they lost some of their best players. But they do return most of their starters. If you're looking for a positive, if their cornerbacks play well, I think they'll be tough to beat. That to me feels like kind of the key to their defense. So yeah, 7.5 number on this Tennessee. What do you think? Like, because it feels like obviously last year they were a lot of fun, were really tough, but also won 7 games.
The correct answer. Okay, first I want to apologize to Hendon Hooker and to all you supporters out there. I was wrong. I stand corrected. There is no way that Will Levis is a better quarterback than Hendon Hooker, and I apologize for saying that. No, they have a lot to look forward to. I think they're going to be kind of the same as they were last year, though. So if that makes sense, I think the offense will be really good. It was last year. I think the defense will be really not that great. It's just the same as it was last year. So, I mean, why would, yeah. The schedule does them no favors. Their crossover from the West, they get Alabama like they always do, and then they go to LSU. That is not fun. With Georgia is sprinkled in there. They go to Georgia. That's not fun either. Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to lean under here for Tennessee. That's just kind of the feeling that I have there. I don't think it's any fault of Hendon Hooker. I think he'll have another great year. I really think that. Heupel, it's interesting with the Josh Heupel offense, or his kind of, it feels a little bit like Gus Malzahn. I'm not sure why. Like, just kind of maybe not quite the level of dysfunction that Malzahn has. Like, I think Josh Heupel, he's an excellent play caller. I mean, that's proven. But yeah, like, you do have to play defense in this league, and it's going to be really, really hard to go to 8-9 wins if you're really bad on defense. I think that's going to be really difficult to do, and they haven't given me any reason to trust that defense yet. So for those reasons, that's why I would go under on Tennessee.
Okay, I'm actually slightly on the over.
Okay.
And so looking at their schedule, you mentioned some of the tough games. They get Alabama at home. They have to go to Georgia.
Yeah.
But I do think some of the other toss-up games, Florida's at home for them. I like that. Kentucky, they get at home. So I kind of like those. And the Pittsburgh game being on the road, I don't love that. But I'm a little more down on Pitt than I was a couple months ago when we did the ACC preview. I think I took Pitt's over for the year. And I'm feeling not as good about that as I was at the time. And I sort of expect Tennessee to beat Pitt. Even though it's on the road this year, unlike last year, I sort of expect them to get a little bit of revenge for that game. And I don't know. You were asking in our Kentucky section of this pod, who you take second in the East.
Yeah.
To me, it feels like it's Tennessee, it's Kentucky, and it's Florida. Like, those are the kind of the names that make the most sense there. Maybe if South Carolina, like if everything goes right, but usually not quite everything goes right. So I think it's one of these 3 teams. And Tennessee gets to host both of those other teams. So I'm slight over on Tennessee, slight under on Kentucky. I don't feel amazing about it. Like, I'm not running to the bank to, make a withdrawal and, put the mortgage on this. But I think that I like what Heupel has done as far as just bringing their team to the 21st century offensively. You mentioned it makes you feel a little bit like Gus Malzahn. I think it's actually quite different as far as just the system. Maybe you were talking about
More the dysfunction.
Yeah.
Not the dysfunction, just the sense of out of control. Like it just feels out of control. And maybe this is because they paid $8 million for a quarterback that hasn't played in college yet. But like it just feels like a little out of control, I guess. And it just has those Auburn vibes from back in the day.
Sure. Also, I like that they're starting Hendon Hooker right away this year. That didn't happen last year. That he had to kind of, I don't know if he earned it or if Joe Milton lost it, but they were a lot better once Hendon Hooker took over. And yeah, no one can compete with Joe Milton in practice as far as just throwing a pretty ball. But Hendon Hooker
Joe Milton must just throw the prettiest ball of all time. I think someone said he could throw it like literally 110 yards. I think some reporters like, yeah, he can sit here in this end zone, throw it out the other end zone. Like that's an incredible arm talent. He attempted to throw the ball through people, like quite literally. Like he intended to literally put a hole in the receiver's chest every single time. Hendon Hooker, that offense really was much better under him. There's no question when he played. He's undoubtedly the guy this year. If anyone in the SEC East wins the Heisman, I would be betting on Hooker. I think he's a sneaky dark horse to do it. I think he'll have a great year. The reason I'm under on him, I don't feel the defense is good enough. But
sure,
let's be fair here. Like we're picking over and unders on Tennessee and Kentucky. These lines are razor thin. Like these are true coin flips. Like with Georgia and with Vanderbilt, like I know exactly where I'm going with those teams. Like on these lines. Whereas like Kentucky, Tennessee fighting it out for number 2, for me there was very thin margin between.
Yeah, I feel like if Justin Fuente would have played Hendon Hooker at Virginia Tech more, he might still be their head coach.
Yeah.
But yeah, 31 touchdowns, 3 interceptions a year ago. That's just stupid.
That is very good.